when listening to Steven Wilson's new album this year, I didn't expect him to top the title track from his last album, since after all, that song was my favourite one of 2015 overall. With that said though, this album's title track also blew my mind. First, you have that incredibly catchy hook that just sounds phenomenal, and then the rest of the song is almost entirely instrumental with guitars that simply will not quit. And once we finally do get back to the hook, the guitars come back again to shred you into a gorgeous outro, with a choir of backing vocals that sounds downright heavenly, paired with lyrics about how everyone's truth is based on their own perception, which is amazingly inclusive and populist for Steven Wilson, and you have an easy favourite for me from the moment I heard it. Fantastic song, easily one of the best pop rock epics this year had to offer.
I'll be you back tomorrow if I get over this big white wall. Time holds still at the Stone Hotel. Free meals on the county bill.
So, what do you get when you combine a guitar and drum pattern with organs and pedal steel and one of the best hooks of the year? Why, you get Jamie Wyatt's Stone Hotel, an ode to prison life that I've been jamming to from the moment I heard it. Felony Blues was an album that thoroughly impressed me back when I first listened to it, and since then, this is probably the track that's grown on me the most. Obviously, I'm a fan of outlaw country, but this is coming from someone who actually has done time in jail, which is rarer than you may think. But considering she managed to convert all of those feelings into one of the best and most anthemic country songs of the decade, I ultimately think it was worth it. Excellent job, Jamie Wyatt. You were a gift this year that country music, and most of all, I certainly needed. So many people were mixed on Ariana's new album The Source this year, but even if you're not a fan of Ariana Lucassen, if you're a fan of symphonic metal in general, then this song should definitely make your mouth water. Not only is it over 12 minutes long with multiple hooks, with everything from flutes to electronics to drums to guitars to strings, but on top of that, it's a song about the end of the world delivered by almost every single singer in symphonic metal that you would want to hear at that moment. James LaBrie from Dream Theater, Tommy Caverick from Camelot, Simone Simons from Epica, Tobias Sammet from Avantasia, Floor Jansen from Nightwish, and many, many more. In particular, Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian, whose part actually did get me to squee the first time I heard it. It's an epic song in every sense, and even if you're not a fan of the album as a whole, you have to at least appreciate how amazing this individual piece is. Phenomenal job as usual, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it up.
From El Barrio to Arecibo, Palante. From Marble Hill to the coast of Emmett Till, Palante.
So one word that you don't often hear associated with country music would be revolutionary. But on this song, Alinda Lee Segarra definitely earns that label with this gem. It's a song that defiantly refuses the American way if it means giving up her Puerto Rican heritage in the process. And that's certainly interesting. We definitely hear about this a lot from the black community and hip-hop, but this is a perspective that you wouldn't normally get, and certainly not in country music. And while the first half of the song has her lamenting that the temptation to conform really is great considering how much easier it makes life, after an excerpt from 1973's Puerto Rican Obituary by local poet Pedro Pietri, you get the second half where, supported by backing vocals and a forceful piano, she calls out Palante, or forward, to a list of Puerto Rican individuals whose culture is threatened, encouraging them to stand with her to preserve their heritage. It's an anthem like few others we got this year, and with the year that Puerto Rico had, I hope that this will at least give them some solace, because it truly is inspirational and wonderful.
Till it breaks down at the binding, curse your locomotive off the rail, and all that trouble you've been looking for is easy in the finding. Well, the devil's in the fine detail.
Like I said before, I do love me some outlaw country. With that said, this song does take it in a bit of an interesting direction, because this song is actually from the point of view of the more mature ex-outlaw, one that's slowly realizing that he can't quite do what he used to. Heck, when his friends ask for his help for one final job, everything goes south and someone gets shot. Luckily the guy who gets shot doesn't die, but it's definitely a wake-up call for him. It's original, relatable, pretty damn funny, and paired with incredibly fast-paced country instrumentation with a killer hook to boot. What more could you want? You know, at some point or another, we all wonder about a power that may be greater than us, and on the album this is from, Perfume Genius goes in search for it to find some meaning to his life and art. This song is the moment where he finds that higher power and had the task to capture that experience. And boy oh boy, it most certainly does. The track is mostly gorgeous backing vocals and incredibly fast-paced strings that create a sense of panic and torment, and yet simultaneously one of awe and beauty. And in the face of such power, all Mike Hadrius can do is timidly gasp out his experience of it, as he is utterly and completely blown away, and he's not the only one. Fantastic song.
Naturally the dying man wonders to himself, his commentary been more lucid than anybody else.
So, as a critic, there's a temptation to believe that your opinion is better than others. And all year, this song was a constant reminder to me of just how pointless my opinion really is. This is a song portraying a modern-day man on his deathbed, a self-proclaimed hero. Someone who spent every single day of his life reprimanding people on social media for being offensive. And the ego on this guy is just ridiculous, as he wonders how the world will go on without his input and comments. Yet, to many of you, whether you like to admit it or not, this probably hits pretty close to home. And in the final verse, even this pathetic wreck knows it, as he takes his final breath and suddenly realizes the true impact he left on the world. Because in the end, the world will keep on spinning, with or without your help. It's profoundly cynical, and I could easily see it putting some people off, but considering how it kept me in check all year, I'm extremely grateful and profoundly in awe of this track. Absolutely wonderful job, Josh Tillman, as per usual.
I'm a white man living in a white man's town. Wanna take a shot of cocaine and burn it down. Mama wants to change that Nashville sound, but they're never gonna let her.
You know, the controversy that this song stirred up really does piss me off. After all, how dare this white man talk about white guilt? So many dismiss this song for being too PC or too political, but the song does throw you for a few loops, like the fact that it doesn't just address the white man's history with African Americans. No, he also touches on their treatment of Native Americans as well as women. Keep in mind, this is country music, arguably the most conservative genre out there. And for those who would criticize him for making it a deep cut, not only did he release it as a single, but I saw him play this live earlier this year to a predominantly white audience, which takes some real balls and shows that he is definitely putting his money where his mouth is. It's a chilling song that will definitely drive some away, but to those of us who stay, it's yet another gem from the guy who at this point we really can't do without.
And they say all is fair in love and war, but that ain't true, it's wrong. They send you off to die for us, forget about you when you don't.
So as stated previously on this channel, I do have a soft spot for songs about soldiers and veterans. Well, this track has Brad Paisley teaming up with country legend John Fogerty to deliver a visceral takedown of our treatment of these people. With the most chilling line probably being, "They ship you out to die for us, forget about you when you don't." And if that's not biting commentary, I don't know what is. Pair it with a phenomenal hook, and the fact that there are two perspectives proves that this has always been and still is a problem, and you have a song that honestly should get played on Veterans Day every year.
Used to get paid by
From the very beginning, this song leapt out at me. Part of it has to do with the phenomenal horn and bass interplay, as well as one of the best hooks of the entire year, but another part of it is that it's just such a perfect snapshot of the 80s rock scene. A time where some venues couldn't even afford to pay their singers, so they just paid them in cocaine since they had more than they knew what to do with and everyone was addicted. It's so simple yet so vividly sketched out that it instantly draws me in. By far my favorite on the album, easily one of the band's best.
I've got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. Make my way out west, maybe head down south. Live a life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand.
You know, sometimes the best country songs don't need to be experimental or political. Sometimes all you need is a killer premise, phenomenal harmonizing, and one hell of a catchy hook. Of course, it also helps when it's written by the genius songwriter that is Jason Eady. Because, as the title would suggest, this is a song from the point of view of Barabbas, the man who was released from prison in place of Jesus. Released after having accepted his fate, he's now faced with a life that he doesn't feel he's quite earned. Destined to live an existence that he doesn't fully understand. And while this is a figure in the Bible that is so easy to demonize, keep in mind that, in terms of Christianity, Barabbas wasn't the only one who was released so that Jesus could die for him. All of us were. Such an amazing song, it's one of those instant classics that will definitely stick with you. Amazing job once again, Jason Eady. Just keep it up. So, for the longest time, I convinced myself that nothing could top the epicness of the opener to this album. But, as time went on, this song's sheer manic energy won me over completely. This is a song where the world is tearing itself apart around our characters, as they run, terrified towards their spaceship, they're one way off of this planet. And boy does the song convey that panic perfectly, especially with the manic keyboard, drums, guitars, and the terrified choir of vocals. If you want a song that will get your blood pumping and have you running in terror, this is it right here. Not only one of Ariana Lucason's best work, but also one of his most effective. Absolutely phenomenal.
Keep your feet on the ground. Man, you really brought me back down. Hold on to hope if you got it. Don't let it go for nobody.
Now this was a huge surprise for me. I've said before that Paramore is often too bratty and cynical for my taste, which drove me away from them for the longest time. But man alive, I did not expect this. While Hard Times is amazing and just missed this list by a fraction, this song is so much more powerful. A song where Hayley Williams addresses her younger self and tells her not to be so cynical and depressing, because she's bringing everyone down, killing their dreams, including her own. The level of self-awareness here is astonishing, and on top of that, it's one of the best written songs of the entire year, paired with a gorgeous, twinkling, guitar-driven melody with some jaw-dropping string touches, and you have by far my favourite Paramore song, as well as one of the most quintessential pop songs of the year.
Swallow the pitch flows from the earth. Soft spot lightning.
Is it the smartest or most emotional song on the album? No, not by a long shot. But with every single listen, the sheer power of this song just blew me away. In terms of killer rock songs, this is by far one of Brand New's all-time greatest tracks, with an unbelievable hook and a chugging guitar melody that sounds epic. Not to mention that key change on the final hook that we really don't get enough of nowadays. And on top of the bleak lyrics and phenomenal harmonized vocals, we even get an epic guitar solo on the bridge that is fucking fire. Incredible song, thank you once again Brand New for showing all of us exactly how it's done.
see you move to Georgia. Oh, I see you move to Georgia. On your way to LA.
We got a love and hate relationship, I know. But I keep you on my mind no matter where I go.
So if you want a song that could have made this list based purely on its sound alone, this is Exhibit A right here. I mean, it's a hip-hop song that also sounds like a spaghetti western theme. How could you not love this? But on top of that, the lyrics here are absolutely excellent. It's a song about Big KRIT's mixed emotions regarding his home state of Georgia. As on the one hand, he gets annoyed when people make fun of it or don't represent it fairly, but on the other hand, his state seems to judge him for moving to LA to pursue his rap career. This may seem trite to some of you, but keep in mind just how much rappers do rep their home states. It's an inner conflict that a lot of us can definitely relate to when someone we love resents us for the choices we've made. And Big KRIT portrays that expertly. By far my favorite track on his epic double album, which trust me, is saying a lot.
You steal the air out of my lungs, you make me feel it. I pray for everything we lost, but back to secrets. Your head forever's all I want. Don't take the money. Don't take the money.
Okay, for as much shit as I have given Jack Antonoff this year for his work in the mainstream, it still doesn't change the fact that I really do love the guy. But while many people will say that his best work came on Lord's Melodrama this year, for me, this song was his opus. I won't say that it's quite as amazing as I Wanna Get Better, but it's still way closer to that song's quality than I would have expected. It's a song about two people who are desperately in love with each other, yet wary of trusting each other completely considering their bad experiences in the past. And paired with wonderful production, Jack's great delivery, and one of the best hooks of his entire career, Don't Take the Money is a real gem that even non-fans can definitely appreciate.
But no other truth I can tell. I just say this is I wish you farewell. I hope you're somewhere praying. I hope your soul is changing.
Yep, you were all expecting to see it here somewhere. And yes, the fact that a song in my top 10 for the entire year was also a hit is incredible. I've already gushed about this in my best hits video, but like I said there, the song's power is undeniable. With the gigantic instrumentation, the way it builds throughout its entirety, and Kesha's wonderful vocal performance, Praying is up there with Wonderland as one of my all-time favorites from her. Definitely a classic on arrival, so glad it was a hit.
Everybody's secrets inspire all of my scenes. I write in all of my fantasies and I die in all of my dreams. My superpowers I maintain, I take control of my scene. Y'all see what I can't say all that unseen. I done told some goofy shit that sounded like a poem. I spun around in circles on the globe. So who the hell could ever feel at home?
Yep, you can't very well make a list of the top 50 songs of the year without at least one entry from Open Mike Eagle. And this one's in my top 3 from the guy, no question. The production here is wonderful and morose, a flute melody and percussion that sounds eclectic and gorgeous, yet still so sad in its tone. And Open Mike Eagle's much the same too, as his delivery matches the instrumentation. Describing his time spent in the hood and how it formed the person that he is today, as weird as that may seem to some people. It's an ode to the project that does acknowledge that it was pretty shit, and yet simultaneously every element was so important to him. Open Mike sketches this out with his typical genius wordplay on the verses and one of the best hooks of the year, and all I can do is sit there entranced. Seriously, wonderful job, man. This is absolutely one of your best.
I know what you call me. That word fits me to a T. You just think I'm pretty and you're just full of jealousy.
You know, with good writing, you can make anyone sympathetic. Take this song, which has a husband, his ex-wife, and his young new trophy wife. And somehow, this song gets you to sympathize entirely with the trophy wife, the one that would be the villain in most sitcoms. But hey, when your song is co-written by Laurie McKenna, what can you really expect? Sonny Sweeney sells this song with a disdain that is chilling but awesome, and the instrumentation is smoky and textured in the best possible way. But again, the star is the songwriting. amazing. With probably my favorite line being, "Just thinking out loud, but in the long run, don't a trophy mean you think he won?" Oh, snap! Well done, Sonny Sweeney. This is certainly one of the most essential country songs of the year. Seriously guys, put some time aside and make sure you hear this one.
He was born and raised in the depths of Indiana. He always thought so highly of me.
It feels kinda weird putting this song so high on this list. Not really because it's from a YouTube/SoundCloud artist, but because this is by a guy who watches my videos, so there's a high chance that he'll see this. But yeah, I can't deny it. This song was a favorite of mine from the moment I heard it, and by the end of the year, it was my favorite pop song of 2017. Eric Taxon's voice isn't the grandest or anything, but it works to his advantage here, as his delivery is understated, yet still powerfully emotional. And the melody here is just phenomenal, built off a piano and a gorgeous blend of electronica in place of a chorus that is honestly one of the most gorgeous sounds I heard in 2017. And then you have the lyrics, which are about a teenage boy discovering his first real love online. This boy he likes has so much in common with him, and despite being online, he's the realest person he's ever met. As they dream of one day meeting each other without counting all the pixels. Such a great line. And if you think about how teenagers are often judged, even in today's day and age, you can really sympathize with this character. And the self-doubt and the shyness in the lyrics really does draw you in and help you care about this relationship. By far the sweetest love song that I heard all year. Well done, Eric Taxon. For me, this is your best work to date. That doesn't mean you should stop making music though, because I'm more than eager to hear what you'll come up with next.
Knowing that this can't go on forever, likely one of us will have to spend some days alone. Maybe we'll get 40 years together, but one day I'll be gone. One day you'll be gone.
Another year, another Jason Isbell song in my top 5. Seriously, this is the third year in a row. It's getting kind of ridiculous. But what can I say? The man's just a genius. Take this song where he and his wife sing an utterly heartbreaking duet, reflecting on the fact that one of them will die first, leaving the other alone to mourn them. Powerful stuff, but of course it's Jason Isbell, so it goes deeper. As they reflect on the fact that if they were vampires and could live forever, they wouldn't cherish each other in the way they do now, as what gives life meaning is knowing that it will end and that you should love each other while you still can. Heartbreaking, incredible song, but really, I wouldn't expect anything less from one of my favorite artists.
I'll try to be there when you call. Honey, it's a long way home from outer space.
From the moment I heard this, I was convinced that it would be the country song of the year for me. And while there was one other that somehow overtook it, this song is still amazing. In the vein of David Bowie's Space Oddity, this is a love song from the depths of space. It's uncertain, yet they're still dedicated to love each other forever and be there when the other one calls. And with Jamie's wonderful performance and the spacey and incredible piano, pedal steel and string chorus that sounds phenomenal, it's a cosmic song by any definition, definitely one for the ages.
But I guess I'd say I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. But the truth is that I see you now. I see you now. Still talk to you like you're around. Like you're around.
So my favorite track from RTJ2 was the incredible song Crown. And going into this, I didn't expect the duo to top it. But man, did they come close. The song sounds amazing with wonderful glitchy productions blended in extremely well with the jazz elements courtesy of Kamasi Washington. And the lyrics are just unbelievable. First we get LP's verse where he reflects on how you feel when you see your friends, people that you know are so strong, slowly dying. It's such a painful experience that a part of you hopes that they'll die more quickly, if only because it's so painful to watch watch and of course for them. That's powerful stuff, and the chorus where they say their memories with these friends will live forever and that they'll never be forgotten hammers it home all the harder. But just like LP had the verse of the year on Crown, Killer Mike has it here, as he sketches out a story of a member of one of his old crew getting killed over something as trivial as a chain. And after explaining how this affected this guy's immediate family, he turns his attention to the killer who never actually got caught. And then he forgives him, saying that he hopes he made it off the street for his own mother's sake. Because after all, he wants his friend's death to mean more than just a pointless scuffle over a chain. And after all, in his words, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth will leave us all mumbling and blind. Fucking genius. By far one of the most effective tracks released all year, as well as the best hip-hop song of 2017.
Only call my husband babe because I love the word. Never wanted something so bad that it hurts. Even give up these damn old cigarettes. If I could have a bottle by my bed.
Yep. 2 Sunny Sweeney songs in my top 10. And believe me, she earned them. Once again, you have the songwriting talent of Laurie McKenna to help out, but Sunny Sweeney deserves a lot of the praise here as well. From the title, you might expect this to be a song about drinking, but actually it's not that at all. Because it's actually a song about motherhood and how Sunny Sweeney would trade in everything she has for a baby that she could just keep a bottle of milk by her bed. And I know, on paper that sounds so corny, but my god, the writing and the delivery here make you treat it all as deadly serious. She describes how her friends think that she doesn't even want a kid, sketching out that mournful image of an empty room at the top of the stairs. And Sunny Sweeney sings every single word like she means it, which it turns out she probably does. Because in an interview, it was revealed that shortly before writing this song, she had suffered a miscarriage, which suddenly puts this song into an entirely new and tragic light. And to hammer the sorrow home, you have the absolutely heartbreaking line, "Right now our mortgage is the only thing that's due." Yeah, there's a reason why, just like praying, I tear up every time I hear this song, as well as why it's far and away the best country song of the year. But not quite my number one, which was pretty much sealed from the moment I heard it.
Now that's what I call pure comedy. Just wait until the part where they start to believe they're at the center of everything, and some all-powerful being endowed this horror show with meaning.
You know, going through the songs on this list, I am faced with a wealth of emotions, ranging from joy to sadness to love. But this song that encapsulated the entire year as a whole in such a perfect bubble just makes me feel pure awe on a level that very few songs do. I mean, there are songs that I love because they fill me with a certain emotion, and then there are the songs that just straight up impress me too much to even deny. It's less a song and more an incredibly engaging thesis that I recommend everyone read along to. It's a song about the comedy of life, the joke, the irony of it all. And yes, just like Ballad of the Dying Man, it's both very funny and very cynical. But it's so damn impressive in its writing and composition that I can't help but hold it up in the highest regard. To me, this is the modern equivalent of a song like American Pie. It's so clever, so epic, and so thought-provoking that it demands respect, think pieces, and much more. And on top of all that, it even sounds amazing, with the sweeping theatrical instrumentation and Josh Tillman's vocals howling across all of it. And as time went on, nothing quite managed to top it for me in 2017. So ultimately, yeah, no question, Pure Comedy by Father John Misty is my song of the year. And those were the top 50 songs of 2017. Let me know your own pick for the song of the year down in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, quick reminder, if there are any questions that you'd like to ask me in my upcoming Q&A video, remember to post your question in the comments of the video that is currently featured on screen. Next time, we will wrap up this year with the best albums of 2017, so see you guys then. Please subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and until the next time, I'm Finn, and this is the Social Tunes signing off.